Alright, so now that we've had a little bit of time to wrap our heads around ARK Survival Ascended, I wanted to make this video kind of a weird one, but I've seen that so many people saying like, oh, caves are dead, you can't really build in them, which makes sense in a lot of ways, but today I want to talk about why I think the Pearl Caves are actually still viable, especially after you get a little bit of a base built up. They're actually going to be a really good base spot, and we're going to go over that today. I would probably build here after I got maybe a few turrets and a couple of dino lines. This is a really good spot to have your breeding base and store your really good loot, things like that. So let us get right into these reasons why. First off, with a stego here. So you can actually get dinos in and out of this cave. I know there's no cryopods, but this is my favorite cave. It's the medium-sized one. Definitely you can still fit a stego in and out, a rex in and out, some medium-sized dinos. So if you want to attack other people on the server, you still can do that. You just swim them out and they would float to the top. Not really an oxygen problem either. So as long as they have like 500 oxygen, 400 oxygen, they should be totally fine. You are going to need like a Quetzal or a Rhinogonatha to move them around afterwards, but you need that anywhere on the map. So if you're going down with a stego like someone's trying to attack you, it's totally different. You can't really swim a stego down very well. We'll speed this up just so you can see. I'm getting killed by eels here. Even if I kill the eels, it still takes forever for me to swim down. So people could potentially attack your cave with a stego, but they need to level most of the points into oxygen. So that is not really going to work. Another pretty good reason why the cave is really easy to defend. People are only going to really soak this cave with one dino, and that's going to be a Basilosaurus, the whale. And you can combat that in a few different ways. So another massive benefit of being in the ocean is you can get a donkey and literally get unlimited metal farm. Metal's kind of hard to get on this map, but every single rock in the ocean is going to have a little amount of metal, which is going to give you a good farm. So even though there's no fence supports, you could build a little cage here. I'm not really sure why you'd need one, because there's no sort of jumping dinos or anything, but it could be nice just to have there to kind of block people, as well as keeping your own dinos in. So this would be a pretty good step for cave defense. Some sort of structures here to block entering the cave. And the cave in itself, I feel like it's just really defensible for a few different reasons. And cryopods works both ways. It's harder to get out, but it's harder to get in as well. Okay, and the turret placement changes just make this an absolute nightmare to attack. There's not really a way to cheese turrets if you spread them out like this. So you're just gonna put turrets all over the roof here. Totally a horrible time to attack, even with like a Basilo. And if you mess with the range and other things, you can counteract people using a Basilosaurus here. So, and then you throw some Plant X along the ground here, and the slow effect plus the unlimited ammo is going to be pretty nice on a Plant X. So once again, this is probably going to be used mainly as like a loot store / breeding base for later tribes. So the last thing you can do, throw a bunch of aggressive dinos in here at the front of the cave. Here, let me make sure these don't destroy all my structures. Doesn't have to be gigas, it could be literally anything. People won't be able to get dinos in here, so they'll have to kill everything in here by hand, whether that's with a bow or a tech rifle if they get to that stage, which is going to be really difficult. If you ended up putting like even stegos, like saddled stegos in here on aggressive, it would be pretty difficult to kill them. Any attackers are going to have to spend hours and hours killing dinos before they can even get to your turrets. So there is like a few spots that they changed, like right here you could kind of hide, and you got to be careful of that. Make sure that's in turret coverage. But overall, if you just do a few things to this base, this is going to create a base that you don't really have to be online for 24/7, which is the style that I like, where you can just log off and only log on like maybe once a day or less and be sure that your base is going to be safe. Yes, it's harder to live in this base as far as getting resources and other stuff, but it also has a huge benefit of being very difficult to attack, which is going to be nice. And as always, if you want like a little base outside, which you probably will, to have dinos to go farm and to attack, you could just throw up a sky quetzal or make yourself an outside breeding pen somewhere. But that way you don't really have to have an entirely outside base and risk all of your loot and dinos being killed, because all of your main breeding lines and all of your really good loot are going to be safe in your cave, tucked away. So, I mean, these are a bunch of reasons I really think that certain caves with big entrances should still be considered as base spots later on in the game after your tribe is established up a little bit. And I think pearl caves still are a viable option to build. Let me know what you guys think is the best base spot in the comments.